Hello viewers, it is the midweek edition of the Newspaper Review, a current affairs program reaching you live from the Anglican Cable Network, Nigeria. In the papers today, traditional leaders and politicians have been accused of aiding bandits. These and many more interesting information are lined up in the dailies today. I am Charles Philip Owakola.
And I am Rachel Ebunu. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning to you too.
Good morning, esteemed viewers. Come with us as we keep you abreast with the happenings in the nation.
All right, talking about the nation and keeping you abreast, the government is alleging Northwest monarchs, others connive with bandits. Says anxiety over Zamfara, Sokoto, Katsina, Benin Gwari, and Benin Gwari violence. By the way, I'm with the Nation newspaper, and that is the leading headline there. And then coming down, 23 Nigerians on death row in Saudi Arabia. That is a report, and it starts from the front page, continued on the 6th page of the Nation's newspaper. And those are some of the list of some of the jailed Nigerians in Saudi Arabia. All right, a story beside that, International Monetary Fund raises Nigeria's growth forecast. That story also starts from the front page and continues on page 6. All right, bottom strip story, Bayelsa Kogi governorship polls now November 2nd. All right, it's on page 39. Tax on luxury goods to rise, page 11. Let's move up a bit. Above the leading headline is a picture of angry youths protesting over killings in Benin Gwari local government area, Kaduna State. It happened on Monday. All right, let's move up again above the masthead. Police confirm killing of 21 in Kajuru attack. That story is on page 43. Troops repel Boko Haram in Damaturu. That story is also it's also in page 43. All right, if you go to page 8, VP to NDIC, talking about Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation Board, sanitize banking. The VP to NDIC, sanitize banking. Like I said earlier, the story is on page 8. Senate okays 1.64 trillion naira borrowing plan. Senate okays 1.64 trillion naira borrowing plan. And US-China trade war bad for Nigeria. You will see that story on page 11. World Junior Tourney tickets secured. That story is also on page 47. And that is this last story on the front page here. Over to you,
Okay,
Rachel.
Charles. The next we have is the Punch newspaper. And I'll be starting from the top above the masthead. Nigeria should tighten monetary fiscal policy. That is coming from the International Monetary Fund. And that story can be found on page 27. And we have this on page 41. Shetima Amosun meet over Senate presidency. And Kogi Bayelsa governorship election to hold November 2nd, says INEC. That story can be found on page 9. Police dismiss 9 officers for misconduct. You can find that story on page 13. And we come beside the masthead. Senate approves medium-term expenditure and fiscal strategy. Gets 2019 budget report Thursday. That is on page 30. And we go to the next, which is Boko Haram attacks Damaturu. That story can be found on page 41. And the lead story, killings in North. World Consultative Forum meets today as minister says top traditional rulers aiding bandits. Criminals killed 3,526 in Zamfara. That's coming from the governor, Governor Yari. And the picture we have here is that of residents of Onikpetesi, Ikeja, during the End SARS protest at Mongoro bus stop along Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, Lagos on Tuesday. That happened on Tuesday. And we come down, bottom strip stories. Pro-Buhari group asks security agencies to investigate Atiku. That story can be found on page 21. And on pages 4 and 13, gunmen kill businessman during robbery operation in Lagos. Ochenya court remands accused lecturer's wife in prison. And finally, on page 21, INEC says distribution of uncollected PVCs to resume soon.
All right, that takes us to Vanguard newspaper, leading with the title Insecurity. And it says politicians, traditional rulers aiding bandits. That's an allegation coming from defense minister. And the kicker reads, PDP chides Buhari over rising insecurity. And the Pan-Niger Delta Forum also expresses alarm. Nigeria needs retooling to tackle insecurity, says Afenifere. Keep off Igbo land, Ohaneze warns killer headsmen. As Buhari orders security agencies to end cultism in rivers. And that is a picture of IGP visiting Zamfara over the killings, says Acting Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, third left, Secretary to Zamfara State Government, Professor Abdullahi Shinkafi, at the middle, are members of Zamfara State Council of Chiefs during the visits of IGP over the killings in Zamfara. It happened yesterday, by the way. Okay, bottom strip stories. How we are tackling non-remittance of pension, a pension fund. That's coming from Pencom, the boss of Pencom. And that story is on page 38. If you go to page 13, Zamfara killings. Perpetrators from Burkina Faso, Chad, Niger, others. And that is coming from the miners. Ex-Governor Jang diverted 2 billion naira meant for SMEs, says witness. And that story is on page 13. Kano Governor Tribunal grants PDP permission to inspect electoral materials, page 35. Osibanjo charges NDIC to tackle non-performing loans in banks. That is on page 19. All right, let's move up above the masthead. Reps probe Nigerian bulk electricity trading, over 90 billion naira loss. That story is on page 14. And on page 40, INEC fixes November 2nd for Kogi Bayelsa governorship election. Okay, and then finally, International Monetary Fund reviews Nigeria's growth upwards to 2.1%. IMF reviews Nigeria's growth upwards to 2.1%. Over to you now.
Okay, next is the Daily Trust newspaper, and it leads with, as police boss visit Zamfara, no security presence in rural areas. That's coming from the Emir. FG accuses monarchs of colluding with bandits. And the picture we have is that of first graduates of Nigerian Air Force pipe burned during their graduation at the Nigerian Air Force Base Airport Road in Abuja yesterday. And we come down to the bottom strip stories. Jonathan, why I sacrificed my personal ambition. That story can be found on page 10 and on page 3. ICPC arrests 3 poly rectors over alleged 10.2 million naira bribe. And next is on page 40. International confab on hospital administration begins today. And that is it for we go up below the masthead. 1,815 days since Chibok girls were adopted. Boko Haram attacks Damaturu. Military evacuates Borno community. That story can be found on pages 4 and 8. And on page 13, INEC fixes November 2nd for governorship polls in Kogi, Bayelsa. And finally, on page 17, sales of new vehicles dropped by 400% in 5 years.
Okay, the last paper we have, New Telegraph newspaper, still leading with the comments coming from the defense minister, saying traditional rulers aiding bandits in Zamfara and others. The kicker says, Governor, 3,526 killed, 500 villages destroyed in Zamfara. And there is a quote there, some unpatriotic persons, including highly placed traditional rulers in the areas, were identified as helping the bandits with intelligence to perpetrate their nefarious actions or to compromise military operations. Minister of Defense, Brigadier General Mansour Dan Ali, I beg your pardon. All right, coming down, that is a picture of Senators-elect Ibrahim Shakarau from the left and Ojus Okalo, Uche Ekunife, Adamu Alero, and Aliyu Wamako at the induction of senators in Abuja yesterday. Bottom strip stories, police tear gas INEC ad hoc staff are protesting non-payment of allowance. That story is on page 5. Lastly, here, study, dogs can sniff out cancer in blood. You get the details on page 31 of New Telegraph newspaper. Let's move up a bit above the leading headline. INEC fixes November 2 for Kogi Bayelsa governorship elections. That is on page 4. FG approves 100 billion naira for completion of East-West Road. Page 34. IMF revises Nigeria's growth projections upwards to 2.1%. The gross misconducts. Police dismiss 9 senior officers, demote 6 others. The story is on page 5. Above the masthead now, NDIC generated 91 billion naira premium from banks in 2018. And lastly, reps accuse Pencom of frustrating 33 billion naira fund probe. That story is on page 4. All right, we pause here to go for a short break. When we return, newspaper review continues.
At the King's Court is a program where we worship and praise the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords through various musical renditions. So join me, Eukaria Ozovehe, at the King's Court every Tuesday by 6 p.m. on this station, and it promises to be exciting and rewarding.
The word of God is God's instrument for deliverance. The Bible said in Psalm chapter 107 verse 20 that he sent forth his word and he led them from every destruction. All men that were of great generational impact were men who encountered God via the word. In this age of shallow Christianity, where many are no longer committed to discipleship, we need the word of God in order not to be tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine. For true Christian growth and maturity, there is no substitute for the word. Little wonder St. Paul wrote to the church in Colossians and said, let the word of God dwell richly amongst you. The word of God is God. Bible said in the beginning was the word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Join me and other men of God on this station weekly as we learn at the feet of Jesus. Wednesday is 2 p.m., Saturday is 11 a.m., and Sunday 6:15 a.m. God bless you.
Welcome back, viewers. It is still the newspaper review. In case you're just joining us, Sports Pages is next.
All right, on Sports Pages, The Nation Sports, page 47. FIFA Women's World Cup trophy arrives Nigeria Thursday. Heineken to thrill fans with Puyol in Uyo and Lagos. Talking about Spain international Charles Puyol coming to Nigeria. Christian Chukwu is stable, says Okenwa. Otedola offers ex-coach lifeline, promises to pick his medical bills. Nigeria qualifies for World Junior Championship. And then finally, boxing stakeholders meet on youth development. Over to you.
Okay, next is Punch Sports. Chukwu is in a stable condition. That's from the NFF. And Oparanozie, proud of Falcons. And the picture here is the match between Man City and Tottenham, which took place at the Hotspur Stadium in London yesterday. And we have this Women's World Cup lands in Abuja. Taribu laments plight of ex-footballer. This on page 43, and the next is on page 46. Bielsa team to participate in African Youth Cup. And finally, insurance youngsters make on the 15th team. It's over to you.
Okay, Vanguard newspaper on page 45. Vanguard Sports. Ronaldo in Juve squad for Ajax. Manchester United Barca. Ibrahimovic says it is a battle between Messi and Pogba. Sorry, on Hazard's sale, 100 million pounds for Hazard is too cheap. And that's coming from Coach Sarri. Solskjaer, I can't see Pogba leaving Manchester United. Okay, and that is that for this page. We'll move over to the next page. Page 46. Chukwu is in stable condition, says NFF Executive Committee Chief, Honorable Chidi Ofo Okenwa. And then Chukwueze, I'm happy to play for Nigeria at all levels. Villarreal to demand 54 million pounds for Chukwueze. Otedola offers Chukwu lifeline, promises to offset medical bills. Okay, talking about Christian Chukwu's ailment, Otedola offering Chukwu lifeline, promises to offset his medical bills. And then a funny one here, Obafemi challenges Mbappe in 200 meters race. The former Super Eagles striker Obafemi Martins wants to race with French star Kylian Mbappe. All right, let's come down. Heineken set to thrill fans as Puyol arrives Uyo, Lagos with Champions League trophy. Too many foreign technical hands in Eagles worries Solskjaer. And then finally, FIFA Women's World Cup trophy arrives Nigeria on tour. You might want to take it up.
Okay, that's it for that. The next is Daily Trust Sport on page 46. Money scoops monthly award. And Son's late winner gives Tottenham edge over Man City. Subject concerned over foreign coaches in Nigeria technical team. And finally on this page, 15 coaches for ITTF Level 1 coaching certificate course. And we'll go to the next page on page 47. Stage set for Pogba to prove his Man United worth. And Ronaldo named in Juve squad for quarterfinal. Abridged NLN kicks off today. And finally on this page, Chukwu is stable, sound. That's coming from Okinwa.
Okay, take it to the New Telegraph newspaper. AFCON, story on AFCON. Roa must include Mikel in squad, says Finidi George, ex-Super Eagles player. And then Ndidi sets to quit bachelorhood in May. Super Eagles midfielder Wilfred Ndidi sets to leave bachelorhood. Okay, Chukwueze to become Villarreal's costliest departure ever. Manchester United won't focus on Messi, says coach Solskjaer. Chukwu stables sound, says Enugu FA boss. And on page 38, ACN tips Nigeria among favorites for 2019 AFCON. Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, SWAN, urges government to support media in sports promotion. African lady golfers storm Lagos for Challenge Trophy. And the Wells Scouting Hotel joins Obebe train. Falcons return after Spain friendlies as World Cup trophy arrives on tour. Kingston Bright Star Academy stages inter-house sports competition. Okay, the final page, page 39, Europa League, Arsenal, Chelsea, chase same goal twice. Heineken to thrill fans with Puyol's arrival in Uyo and Lagos.